Welcome back, students. We have talked about employee empowerment in two sessions. For the past two sessions, we've been talking about what was employee empowerment. We talked about the meaning, the definition. We also talked about the theoretical approaches to employee empowerment. We also talked about the benefits of employee empowerment and what hinders employee empowerment, what promotes employee empowerment. Today, in this final session with reference to employee empowerment, we are going to talk about the pros and cons of empowerment in an organization. We will start with the pros. Basically, when there is an employee empowerment, we see that there will be increased productivity and morale. The employees can make their own decisions, and this in turn increases the productivity. The employees don't have to wait for the approval from a manager or a supervisor, and the workflow doesn't slow down or stop for that matter at any point in time because they have that autonomy to make certain decisions. Employees solve their own issues and they keep moving. They feel confident that the input will be valued, listened to, and acted upon. That sense of being valued matters a lot. Input will be valued, listened to, and acted upon, more likely to share their views and ideas. What happens is when their inputs are valued, listened to, and acted upon, the employees thus will be more likely to share their views and ideas, and this benefits the employee, not only the employee, but also the employer. John Zing, PHCC Educational Foundation says, sometimes it takes an employee stepping outside of their authority to show the benefits of employee empowerment in order. The second advantage is improved quality. Providing employees with tools and guidelines and proper training to make independent decisions often encourages them to produce quality work. Whatever work output would be there, the quality of that work would be much more enhanced when there is employee empowerment. And this in turn helps the organization to meet its goals. And also it encourages the employees to produce quality work. And when trained properly, such employees, empowered employees, are empowered enough to solve the problems of self as well as look into the problems of otherwise. They take risks which are challenging and they do win these challenges. There is a creative approach to work comparatively, and they also assume authority on the tasks. In fact, in a 1999 study of Canadian hospitals conducted by University of Alberta, it was found that a culture of employee empowerment and ownership is a key to reach quality improvement goals and maintain quality standards as well. The third advantage is the better customer service. Simon Sinek says that empowered employees provide exceptional service, and this is experienced firsthand, according to him. Empowered employees have the power to make decisions without a supervisor. They are entitled to go off script. They can bend the rules, do what they see fit if they believe it is the right thing to do for the sake of the customer. The empowered employee can create a feeling of true customer service that ultimately yields much greater customer loyalty. Organizations which give employees the freedom to make decisions on the spot often find that the service to internal and external customers is improved. The fourth advantage is the embracing of change. Empowered employees are free to change and challenge the status quo for organizations, considerably critical for organizations which are fast changing and are in the technology based environment. This is very much required in the current world in the contemporary world of fast paced change. Organizations which feel uncomfortable about questioning their status quo will most probably stay stagnant. They don't move. Encouraging environment where the employees feel free to ask, offer, as well as challenge new ideas will help both the employers as well as employees with an openness to change. There is a lot of improvement which can be seen. The fifth advantage is collaboration. Empowered employees gain a lot of self confidence, and their abilities are utilized to influence the organization and in turn influence the organization. They feel comfortable in exchanging new views and ideas. With the confidence that they have gained in their own abilities, which can influence the organization, they can also exchange these new views and ideas. They collaborate with colleagues in a broad and honest manner because everyone is open in terms of expression of new ideas, innovations, and such a behavior which guarantees openness, which demonstrates openness, such behavior boosts teamwork as well. And it promotes and increases involvement in supporting the main goals of the organization. Whatever the main goals are, it produces a conducive atmosphere in reaching those goals. The sixth advantage is that the communication is boosted. Being less prominent in knowing the changes in the organization is not a good to feel thing for employees. They would want to know more. They would want to know what is happening. They would want to be a part of the change, the process of change. The culture of management is receptive to intake of employees and gives them a better sense of control over the strategic and financial decision. This better sense of control over the strategic and financial decision will help in a long way. Managers should keep the employees informed regarding environment and jobs which make them more comfortable. Share their ideas with the management. Make them share their ideas with the management. Will improve their morale. For all these benefits, the managers should keep the employees informed regarding environment and jobs. The employees become more receptive towards any positive training from the management if there is a communication from the management side to the employees. In turn, the employees will be more receptive and also will communicate further to the management in an open way. The seventh advantage is at the end of it, who matter to an organization? The clients. These clients will be much more happy. A key area when financial improvements have been realized from empowering their employees is that the clients feel that they have been given power, they feel happy, they feel satisfied with their position, they become more enthusiastic, they feel better, and they communicate with attentive and friendly staff. So this communication which becomes feasible, applicable, viable when it comes from management to the employees and from the employees to the clients in turn feel happy about it and they feel justified in being the clients of the organization. And empowered personnel who communicate well will have more personal approach with clients. They focus on creative and better ways to solve the problems. And in its turn, finally, the organization will feel increased concern and improved retention and loyalty from the employees, not only from the employees, but also from the clients. Well, not everything is always positive. Just as there is a scope for advantages, there may be disadvantages too. When there are pros, there can be cons as well. Like all leadership styles, employee empowerment also is likely to have certain disadvantages. It leads to decrease in efficiency because of non-uniform decisions that are unoptimized for organizational goals. Remember, when everyone is involved, there may be a limitation upon the scope for uniformity. It can also create issues with collaboration throughout the organization because decisions are decentralized and not managed at the top. Everyone would feel empowered and hence voice out their own opinions. And because their opinions are voiced out, probably some of them or many of them may feel that they are right and their decisions have to be implemented. And in the process, when the top management does not take the final decision or ultimate decision, on the other hand, it is open for collaboration, there is a scope for some confusion. Manager and employee relationships can become tense as the boundaries of authority are blurred. When there is no authority, when there is no clear cut authority which is seen, there may be sometimes problems in relationships. How does that happen? For example, by abusing power. When given powers to make decisions in their own way, the possibility is that they tend to abuse their power. There is a huge possibility of taking advantage of the empowered for better and more personal gain. Employees may become less responsible for efficiency based decisions because it's a decision by everyone. So, in what way I am responsible? They may feel less responsible. For example, the employee tends to spend time on non-work related things such as breaks and committee meetings rather than on work because the responsibility is distributed and he does not feel the sole responsibility. Just as there is a possibility on one hand, on one polar end, that they feel very responsible, there is also a possibility on the other polar end where they feel less responsible. The second aspect where there may be an effect is interpersonal relations. Complication in interpersonal relations arises with empowering employees. Just as there may be a scope for communication, better communication, collaboration, reverse may also be true. There may be a complication in interpersonal relations. Power is something which may bring conflicts, which may bring misunderstanding between staff and management, within the staff, between the staff and the management. In the train of accepting the better culture, the management may face a tough time in the organization. Conflicts may result in not having proper working relations because everyone feels that they are the authority. Empowerment may provide subordinate employees job satisfaction, but at the same time could deprive managers from their job satisfaction because with the empowerment, the subordinates may not really show that they are subordinates, they also may enjoy the power in many ways. Yet another disadvantage may be additional costs of training. Empowering employees given good training in assertiveness, in leadership skills, in group dynamics. Yes, they are given training in all these very important skills. However, in this process, additional costs and time are incurred by the organization in order to get positive results. They may yield positive results, but in order to reap those results, there is sufficient time which the organization has to uh, spend, invest. The next disadvantage can be poor knowledge and understanding. Though the ability to make decisions could be considered capable, it also comes with few negative points. When there is a lack of proper knowledge in taking a decision regarding various business fields or certain aspects of functioning, that may undermine the success of the organization. And in the process, because a decision may not be properly directed, it may cause more interrelation conflicts as well. That may be because of lack of proper training or lack of any training. Power alone is not enough. Proper training with imparting of enough knowledge and understanding is equally important. One more possibility, which might be a disadvantage, can be arrogance. We have talked in the earlier part of today's session about the confidence level. But the confidence level of an empowered employee is highly increased as they are provided with sufficient power. So, this confidence sometimes may become counter effective. It could lead to a seemingly arrogance in behavior. Handling such employees who move from confidence to arrogance, handling them would be difficult. And these such employees who demonstrate arrogance may demonstrate insubordination in the future. There is a possibility. One more disadvantage can be risks of security and confidentiality. When they are empowered by sharing certain confidential information within the um, organization. Then there will be an increased risk if information that exchanges freely among employees happens within the organization. Whatever has been confided in a particular person, if that information is exchanged freely without enough limits over to the other people and to many people, then that increases the risk. It is risky considering the security and confidentiality because when leaked to others who do not actually have any access to that type of information, it may produce certain counter effective results. There may be certain information which has to be very confidentially, securely maintained. Whereas, when as a process of empowerment, as a part and parcel of empowerment, when confidential information is shared and that is in turn shared with many others who need not who may not actually get an access to such information, then that there is a possibility that it might create certain problems. So may we move on now from empowerment to enlistment. Employee enlistment goes beyond empowerment in that it not only allows employees to own their jobs and to innovate, but also expects them to do so. There is an expectation element which is involved over here. You're expected to own your job. You are expected to be innovative. This makes it clear that authority over things or ownership is necessary and is expected. It is not taken as a bonus. It is taken as a necessity. It is taken as something which is expected. Ownership is made a criterion even in the performance appraisal. Employees are expected to be engaged in meetings, and enlistment is made a guiding principle in the organization's strategic plan. So, what with the deploying improvements in empowerment? As an organization deploys to achieve a breakthrough advancement in empowerment, there may be activities across the organization which need to be undertaken. Things that everyone in the organization need to work upon. It will be identified and given resources in overall strategic planning stage. The empowerment will be identified and given resources in the overall strategic planning stage. Well, we talked so much about empowerment. We talked about the good and bad, the and ugly. We talked about the advantages and disadvantages, merits, demerits, whatnot. But there may also be certain hindrances. There may be certain roadblocks to empowerment. Employee empowerment can be a victim of many threats. Even well intentioned organizations can fall into the empowerment trap. So, today we don't just talk about merely empowerment. For empowerment to be vital and measurable, it must directly be aligned with the strategic goals and individual accountability all the way along the line to senior manager, customers, stockholders. Everyone has to be taken into consideration. And this empowerment must work in sync with the strategic goals and business processes with each individual as a behavioral partner in the business. This kind of empowerment calls for the kind of courage and honesty that most managers never dream of. What happens in the process is conflicts may arise between managers and employees while defining this power. It's like we often uh, joke about it, isn't it? Both of us are equal, I am more equal. It's like that. You are empowered, I am empowered, but power is with me. That's how some may feel. Either ways, from both the sides. The decision making authority expected by the employees might not be the same one which the managers are willing to accept. There is an incongruence over here about what is expected and what it is. Employees could stop the efforts in this process. They may become cynical and may lose interest. They would just say, so what? What after all this that we have done? We are not decision makers. Managers might not be willing to give up the necessary power. They may not have the wish to give away the power from their hands. Fully training employees to be able to take their own decisions could be a time consuming process as well to the organization and to the management. And this in itself can be considered a large barrier. Efforts could take long to show results and could burn up important resources, not only financial but also in time, in terms of time and energy, the days, uh, uh, the contribution of the manpower. So, in conclusion, employee empowerment, it's a buzzword in today's techno-driven environment. We are aware of it, and it is linked to the style of leadership one can demonstrate, and it provides an ownership to employees by proper training, and this in turn will contribute to an increased production rate. And when all these happen, when the employees are empowered and then they are given certain training which is required for their empowerment, and in this in turn increases the production rate, then there will be a hike even in the reputation of the organization, not only in terms of its production but also in terms of reputation. There may be an advantage. So let's look at a few more case studies in our session 1 related to employee empowerment. I have shared with you one or two case studies. So today let me talk about a few more case studies. Disney, for example, they reward good work. Disney, we know, are world renowned for their guest experience. They empower their staff through demonstration of genuine care for themselves. They make sure that they thank their staff, they listen to them for unique opportunities to take action or provide reasoned responses, and they share positive customer stories. Being rewarded in even the simplest ways encourages and reinforces the positive attributes which the staff may demonstrate. It's like they are consolidated, not only consolidated but also enhanced. So, this reinforcement works wonders, and Disney is one of those very few who follow a reward good work policy. Google, a name that we all know, they nurture creativity. A world leader of innovation, Google is known to everyone. It provides a creative and inclusive work environment. Google cafes encourage individuals to interact with people from other departments. It's not that you are limited to your own department, you interact with members of other department in promoting shared ideas for both work as well as play. Google Moderator is a management tool which allows people company wide, across the company, to get involved in meetings by asking questions, voting up questions, and generally being involved in new ideas. They also allow engineers to spend 20% of their working week on projects that interest them personally, thus encouraging their employees to explore own ideas and bring new services and products to the company. So, innovation, dining. One more big name that we are going to talk about today is Adobe. Adobe fosters a culture that is totally averse to micromanagement. They don't like micromanagement. Adobe clearly defines responsibilities and expected outcomes to its employees and then leaves them to get the job done. You are given a framework, and then how you fit yourself into it and how you show the outcome is up to you. You are expected to do certain things, you are defined the responsibilities, you are defined the expected outcomes, and then you are given total account. They have the freedom to pursue projects however they see fit, the employees see fit, and they are trusted with challenging tasks. They are not questioned about anything. They are anything where a challenge is involved. They are trusted with challenging tasks. One more example is Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is consistently ranked highly for both customer satisfaction as well as employee happiness. A very wonderful thing to discuss. On one side, customer satisfaction, and on the other side, employee happiness. The airlines has its priorities in the order as follows: employees, customers, and then shareholders. It's not shareholders, it's not reverse. It's employees, customers, shareholders. Each is important. But then, like we said a little while ago, employees come into the picture first, and customers, and then the shareholders. Happy and engaged employees will treat customers well, which will encourage customers to come back, and this will in turn make the shareholders happy. Keep the employees happy, they will take care of the customers. A customer who is taken care of well will again want to come back to the same airlines, and this in turn will contribute to the profits, and the shareholders are happy. So, happiness of employees can determine the happiness of shareholders. The airline seeks proactive employees and encourages them to take responsibility for the success of the company as a whole, no matter what their specific role is. It also values the contribution of its employees by including them in new projects. It doesn't limit them or fix them into one particular role and then make them immovable from there. No, it's not like that. It allows them, it includes them. It's an inclusive strategy. A few years back, when the airline changed its uniforms, for example, it enlisted employees from all departments to participate in this design process instead of hiring an external agency which can design its uniform. They involved their own employees. So, this completes our lesson related to employee empowerment. We will be talking about another topic in the future sessions. Thank you.